When attorneys make opening arguments in a medical malpractice trial in New York, is the courtroom door open to the public? Can anybody just walk in and observe? Would you like to know the answer? Come join me for a walk as I share with you some great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. I'm here in St. Martin on the French side, and the area where I'm shooting video today happens to be an area that was totally destroyed by Hurricane Irma about 11 months ago. And now I have a few moments to share this great information with you. So now, let's ask the question. Is the courtroom door open to the public so that anybody can walk in and sit down and observe during opening argument? And the answer is, yes it is. Anyone can walk in. It doesn't matter who you are. You don't have to be part of the lawsuit. You can walk in, sit down, and start observing. And when you do that, you will notice immediately that as soon as you open that door, most people are going to turn around in the courtroom, and the jury as well, to see who just walked into the courtroom. As soon as they see you walk in and sit down, they just go right back to listening to the attorneys. When you walk into the courtroom, as the proceedings are about ready to start, you will likely notice at the very beginning of a trial is that the judge is going to give the jury some very preliminary instructions, legal instructions, on what they can expect and what is likely to happen. And those preliminary instructions are so as simple as, listen, do not talk to each other about the details of this case until the case is totally over. Do not talk to family members, do not talk to friends about the details of this case or the facts of this case, because we don't want you to get influenced by these other people. So those are some preliminary instructions that the judge will give the jury. And as soon as he's done with those, he will turn to me and say, Mr. Oginski, you may begin your opening remarks. And now I get up and I start making my opening arguments. So it's an opportunity for anybody, really, to go ahead, sit in, and listen to what happens in the legal process when somebody brings a claim of medical negligence against a doctor or a careless hospital or careless hospital staff, and this way they can actually observe every single thing that happens. Now here's something else that you might not know. When you go into the courtroom and you sit down in the back, you're going to notice a couple of things. The plaintiff's attorney, the attorney who represents the injured patient, is likely going to be seated. His table is going to be close to the jury box. The defense lawyer, the attorney who represents the people who are being sued, will likely be sitting further back. And again, it all depends upon which courtroom you're in, which county you're in, because they have different setups for where the attorneys will be able to sit. But that's typically what will happen. And now you're wondering, okay, if I go and sit in, can I get up and leave if I'm tired of it, or I get bored, or I need to go out to the bathroom or something else? The answer is yes. Because these courtrooms are open to the public, that means you can get up and go in anytime you want. There is one exception to that. At the very end of the trial, after closing arguments have been made, the judge will ask the court officer to actually lock the courtroom door. Now, that's not to prevent people from leaving, like the jurors or the attorneys or other observers. Instead, it's to prevent people from coming in. Now, why would the judge do that? Why would he have his court officer go and lock the courtroom door? For one key simple reason. Remember when I told you that every time you walk in the door, it creates a small interruption? So now everybody in the courtroom glances and sees who's coming in. When the judge gives his legal instructions at the end of the case, he wants to make sure that there are absolutely no interruptions whatsoever. So he has the court officer lock the door for about an hour until he's finished with his legal instructions. And as soon as he's done, the court officer will again open the door and people are free to come and go. So why do I share this quick information with you? I share it with you just to help you understand how these types of cases work in New York. And I realize you're likely watching this video because you have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen in New York and you're thinking about bringing a lawsuit but have not done so yet because you still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a wonderful day.